Hey everyone, my name's Nico, and in today's video we're looking at the difference between absolute and relative cell references. So what are they and how can we use them to make Excel fun instead of torture? Let's go. Now, as you might know, a cell reference is the address of that cell in the worksheet grid. So for example, C11 is in column C and row 11. Now, if we refer to a cell in a formula, say C11 plus C12, then by default, that cell reference is a relative reference. Now, what that means is that the cell normally indicates a position relative to the current location. So this formula actually says the cell 2 rows up plus the cell 1 row up. What this also means is that if we copy this formula across, it remembers the shape of all the referenced cells relative to the current cell. Now I'll press F2 to take a look at the formula in the next column. We can see that the cell references retain that same shape relative to the current cell. 2 rows up plus 1 row up, D11 plus D12. Copying the formula to F11, that won't work because it still retains that same shape, 2 cells up plus 1 cell up. So I'll press enter, and this time enter equals sum, open bracket, and select a range from C11 through to E11. Enter, and if I click the little square and drag it down, we can see that once again it retains that same shape. 3 cells to the left of the current cell. So that's relative cell references. Now, if we take a look at the second example, now we want to calculate the tax on the total sales from the table at the top. To do that, I'll say equals the total sales in C13 times the tax rate in C17. But we have a bit of a problem because if we copy this one across, we can see that C13 becomes D13, so that's perfect. It's still the cell up there, but now it says times the cell over here. We don't want this one to move up. We want it to stay put in C17. If we copy this formula across, we want the first reference, D13, we want that to stay relative, so that can move across. It can change every time we copy it across. But D17 we want to be C17, and we want it to stay C17. So I'll go back and fix up our first formula so that we can just copy it across. Press F2. C13 I'm happy with, I'll leave that unchanged. But C17, I want to keep C17 at all times. Now the way I do it is you navigate to the reference you want to change, which is C17. Now I press F4. And you'll see when you press F4, it inserts dollar symbols there. The first dollar symbol tells Excel lock column C in place, and the second dollar symbol says lock row 17 in place. So now if we copy this formula across, we can see that the first one is still a relative reference, but the second one is now an absolute reference. And it remains the same every time. And that's it. So now I hope you understand the difference between absolute and relative cell references. This is an absolutely fundamental Excel skill to have. Once you venture into creating dashboards and financial models, a solid understanding of cell referencing is what turns an 8-hour job into a 30-minute job, or a week-long job into a 1 or 2 day job. And like I said at the start, it does this by eliminating those Excel torture tasks, like manually fixing a ton of references to point exactly where we want them to point. Instead, you just spend a bit of time up front building a formula that works really well, and then you can just copy it across the entire range in one go. Now before you go, make sure to click the thumbs up if you found this video useful. Also, feel free to subscribe if you want to see more Excel magic. And don't forget to hit the bell button if you want to be notified when the next Excel magic trick is published. Alright, see you in the next video.